try to score a touchdown. No luck to be had, but nevertheless, there is luck within this league, and we start with a matchup that had a lot of luck. A matchup that I think many people would say somebody was lucky to win. Andy Unchained Pukuka Matata is 99 points in Week 10, advancing to 6-4. He's in 5th place against I Am Knuff John Tui, who falls to 8-2. Still in 1st place, but only 62 points. Now, you may be saying, well, Steve, why was Andy lucky? Andy wasn't lucky this week. I think he's just been lucky in general. But as they say, luck is the residue of design. Michael Thomas got arrested, had 0.9 points. It didn't matter. Alexander Madison, 3.3 points. Didn't matter. Garrett Wilson had 9.3. Kyler Murray had 18. Although Andy probably should have started Sam Howell. Why? Because Sam Howell had 24 points. He continues to score. He continues to be a menace. Jameer, I mean, what else can you say? 23 points. He's back. He's arrived. He's here. Finally. Trey McBride, 13.1 out of nowhere. Riley Patterson, field goal maker. Cleveland defense gave up a lot of points, but still had 15. Andy put up 99. He didn't get anything out of like 3 or 4 players. Drake London Town, not great, 3.6, but it was enough. And then there is I Am Knuff Item Bag, who started Will Levis, never good. He had Jacoby Myers Law Firm, 2.1. Deontay Dropson, 1.7. Pop Douglas with 8.4. Travis Etienne with only 4.4. Deonta Foreman, who has been him, 15. Taysom Hill was a little over the hill, if I don't say so myself, with 2.3. And then Dustin Hopkins was his highest scoring player with 13, other than Deonta Foreman. So not a great week for Tui. 62.7. Never great. He loses. He hasn't lost a lot. He's still in 1st. He's going to be okay. But the luck continues for Andy with a team who seemed dead a few weeks ago is now 6-4 and probably a win away from the playoffs. So kudos to Andy for his victory in Vegas. It was much needed, and it was well-deserved this week. Next, we move on to a very tight matchup. Dobbs on my knob. Tom is 7-3, formerly Ryan Rico. He's in 2nd place. Laporta Potty Chris Gazzaro is 4-6. He's in 9th place. Christopher needs to win. Now, Chris is 77 versus Tom's 80. A very close matchup. It came down to Monday Night Football. You don't have to go to me. I'm sure Chris has already come to you and told you what happened to him. Stephon Diggs with only 3.4. James Cook with 10. He almost got it at the end there, but it wasn't enough. Laporta Potty has come back down to earth a little bit with 4 points. 15 from Lamar. I mean, basically, Gaz had 28 from CeeDee Lamb, and that was basically it. Other than that, he's looking at sub 50. So CD did his thing, but it wasn't enough for Christopher Michael. And then on the other hand, Tom Gorman had Josh Dobbs get 25. He had Jonathan Taylor with 13.5. Tony Pollard's been kind of a disappointment with 5. But Cortland Sutton had a nice touchdown. Amari Cooper, don't know what's going to happen to him going forward. The wide receivers are a little shaky in Cleveland. However, 9.8, you take that. Cade Otton was his tight end, while Mr. Kelsey was in Argentina. But again, Tom gets 80. Tom's 7-3. He gets enough. 2nd place. Laporta Potty, 9th place. Uh-oh. Falling out of the playoff race. Next, we go to, I got to give credit where credit is due. Dylan Pugh, 18, AR-15 with 120 points, 2-8. Not great, but he beat Salvatore, and this is a race truly for the toilet. Salvatore with a 3-7 record. He's in 11th place. He only put up 83. Dylan got 120, though, and I just got to, shout out some people. Deshaun Watson, he killed him. Mike Evans got 20. Debo had 12. Noah Brown had 172 receiving yards. Alvin Kamara with 11.5. Tykevius Chandler with 10.5. And Matt Prater with 18, 120 points for AR. You got to give credit, man. That is a showing. 83 from Sal. I mean, he didn't have a horrible week. His wide receivers are what's bringing him down and have brought him down all season. I mean, Christian Watson, 2.3. Chris Godwin, 5.4. Saquon with 6. Mark Andrews with 4. Gino played pretty well with 24 points, but it just wasn't enough. Only 83 for Salvatore. He's 3-7. Dylan is 2-8 and gets a much-needed victory. Next, we will go to the beatdown that was Pat versus me. But Pat McCann is 6-4. He's in 3rd place with 132.3 points. Basically, everybody on Pat's team went off. Burrow had a good game. Keenan Allen had 30. Tyler Boyd had 11.7. Christian Kirk had 8. Bijan Robinson had 16. Rashad White had 16. Cole Kmet even had a decent game, shockingly. Jason Myers had 22 fucking points. I mean, Pat didn't miss. 132 points for Pat. I tipped my cap. I put up 91. I had maybe the ugliest team ever out there this week. Justice Hill and Jonnu Smith combined for 0.8. It was bad. It was ugly. It was gross. I didn't like it. 91, though, I'll take while my team gets healthy. I'm 5-5. Need a win. Don't want to be in, the outside looking in like Christopher Michael currently is. But nevertheless, we fight on and we get to the next week. Next, we go to a matchup that was very interesting with Free Chiefsaholic getting 97.8, advancing to 4-6 and being in 10th place against the Blair Witch Project, Kyle Karp, who's 5-5 and in 6th place. He scored 87 points. CJ Stroud had 20. Brandon Ayuk, man, had 11. Jahan Dodson with nunca. Derrick Henry only with 2. Not great. Joe Mixon with 10. TJ Hawkinson with 19.4. That's going to work every week, other than this week. Dallas defense with only 8 versus the Giants and Tommy DeVito. 87 for Kyle. Not a horrible week, but you need something. He gets anything from Jahan Dotson and anything from Derrick Henry, he probably wins, but he didn't. And on the flip side, Luke got 19 from Baker Mayfield, 18 from Jamar Chase Bank. Tank Dell, always open. Calvin Ridley, not good. Amandre with 10. David Montgomery had a nice long run. He had 17.6. And David Njoku and my old girl crazy, but my young Hoku with 5.6. 97 for Luke. I tipped my cap. Job well done. A much-needed victory. A victory had. Congratulations to Luke Bonham. And last but not least, we will go to a matchup that came down to literally 1 point. Yes, 1 point separated Skinny Kyle, Mike Russell, who is now 6-4, fourth place with 115.72. To Wally Balls, Matt Stokes, who's 4-6, 8th place with 114.72. Yes, 1 point. Jared Goff, 21 points. Chris Olave, 15. DK Metcalf, 9.8. Ken Skywalker, 18.7. A great game for Mr. Skywalker. Austin Eckler with 17.5. George Kittle, 17.6. A really solid week from Russell here, and he gets the victory he needs with 115. On the flip side, look, Matt Stokes, I got to give credit where credit is due. 29.4 from Justin Herbert. Now, I do think he stinks, but that was pretty impressive. He had a good week. He was ready to roll. He showed up. He showed out. He did what he had to do for Matt. Unfortunately, Hollywood Brown and the newly acquired by me, DeAndre Hopkins, only combined for about 6 points. Amon-Ra St. Brown, the good Brown on his team, had 22.5. Christian McCaffrey had 14.2. Didn't get in the end zone. That's what cost Matt. Javonte Williams with 17. He seems to have been rounding into form. Dalton Kincaid, Josh Allen's favorite target, 11.1. I mean, this is, a really solid week here for Matt with 114, but it's just not enough. Unfortunately, he falls to 4-6. He's still in the playoffs, though, unlike somebody else in this league. And I give credit to Matt because the playoffs are the playoffs. You just got to get in the dance. You just got to get in, as we all know. As the former champions know. I wouldn't know. I'm not one. But the former champions know. You get in, anything can happen. So with that, I say good luck. Your waiver claims have already been processed. The trade deadline is November 18th. Ready to roll? Ready to roll? Ready to roll.